Hello everyone, it's Edward Hunter here, the creator of LEGO Rush, and what I want to do today is share with you some of the cars I used in the video. And I have to say, over the past week I've been pleasantly surprised at the amount of views and sort of positive comments I've got from people. So let's start with our first car. This is the McLaren M23 driven by James Hunt, or Chris Hemsworth. In modern day Formula 1, you'll notice that a lot of the cars are purpose built just for a single season, and maybe even halfway through the season they'll introduce a B-spec car. But with the M23, that car lasted 5 seasons, I think, and in almost every single one of those races it was competitive, and it won 16 overall. The hardest bit of this car to do really was the airbox on the top. Yeah, so let's put that away now and have a look at the star of the car, James Hunt himself. Now, it's well known that James did a lot of womanizing and a lot of drinking, but he had a great sense of fair play, and that served him well in his later years when he did commentary alongside Murray Walker. Now this is a beast. It's the Ferrari 312 T2 as driven by Niki Lauda from Austria, played by Daniel Bruhl in the movie. Now the reason there are a lot more sponsor decals on this one is because I got it from a LEGO Ferrari set. I then made a few modifications just to make the car look a bit cleaner, and in particular to sort of give it those sort of Italian flag stripes on the side pods, because that's a big feature of this, like you can see on the model of the main car here. Now you might have noticed that the shape and livery are pretty different. This is probably one where there was the biggest alteration, but I just need it to be recognisable. Lift the helmet up. I just need it to be recognisable as a Ferrari, really, because to be honest, I was spending a lot of time on some of the other sets, as we'll see later. Now let's look at the driver of that car, Niki Lauda himself. Now on one site I looked on, I heard someone say words to the effect of, "Oh, is it a bit distasteful that he's sort of bandaged up a little bit like Niki Lauda was after his accident?" You may also notice he has a slightly intense expression there, but now I just want to make it clear that I wasn't making fun of the fact that Niki had this horrendous accident, and I must say he had a lot of integrity to not undergo plastic surgery after what happened to his face. Although in my version of the trailer I guess everyone's undergone plastic surgery, even the cars. Truth is, I was just trying to copy the trailer and I didn't want to have too many different faces for Niki, because that one to me just looked just right with the expression. Now this is a really cool one. The Tyrrell P34 here is the only F1 car I think also it's the only one to have competed a race and to have won a race on 6 wheels. You see I put adjustable rear wing at the back, and here's the model that I based it off on, Jody Scheckter's Swedish Grand Prix winning car from the 76 season. This is a design that actually changed halfway through the filming of it. I actually thought of a much better design based a lot closer to the car. And whoops, yeah, you see right there why it's not a good idea to do a joust between the real car and the LEGO car. Now this black and gold beauty is called the Lotus 77. Oh, and I was just about to show you the adjustable rear wing on that one too. Oh dear. Yeah. Butterfingers. So this was another race winning car from 1976. It won the final race of the season at Mount Fuji in the pouring rain. Driven by the laconic and, gotta say, iconic Mario Andretti, who is an Italian-born American, I believe. To be honest, if you're making something about Formula 1 in the 70s, you can't not include the black and gold Lotus. And this here is a Legio, the French car, driven by Jacques Lafitte. Very nice little model I got from Spark, and you can see it's even got a lot of detail on the driver's helmet as well. You can see his face, which is very nice. He finished second in the Austrian Grand Prix in this car, so not a race winning car, but one I wanted to do, including the film somehow, but sadly I just didn't have all the blue bricks available. That's all from 76, but there's still more I want to show you, like this Maserati 250F driven by the great Juan Manuel Fangio in the 1950s. And this design is actually based on one I found off the internet, but I made a few changes there, notably the nose and the little yellow bit on the end. Here's another car from the 50s, the Vanwall. And this is the first British built car to win the Teams Championship in 1958, and that was a big achievement because back then Enzo Ferrari always called them garages and no one ever took them seriously, so that's what's changed that. And these days, of course, most of the F1 grid is in fact based in Britain. And speaking of British cars, here's another two, driven by a Brazilian, of course, the great Ayrton Senna. And these were created for the first Lego trailer I did of a movie, which was the Senna movie, which is all about Ayrton's life and his story. And these two cars are very prominent in it. There's the McLaren that I just showed you, and this is also another Lotus, the Lotus 98T, which is, both cars are very synonymous with it. And you can see here I've got a slightly different colour for the gold, just so you can tell it apart from his helmet. 57, yeah, not Ayrton's number, but yeah, it was the only one that had a black background. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed taking a close look at some of the cars I used to make the movie, and I hope you found it interesting for me to lift the curtain and sort of, you know, show you how I did things rather than just performing all the time or whatever. Look, you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you will in the fullness of time. Right, so all that really remains for me to say is that on Friday I'm gonna check out the full real film, not the Lego one, at the cinema. And the plan is to do a review after I've seen it and put it up here as well, because I've been waiting about 2 years for this movie, and my expectations are pretty high, I think it's fair to say. I've read a lot of reviews that were very positive, and hey, it's got to be better than all the crappy horror movies that come out this time of year. So, take care everyone, and remember, fly louder!